Ahead of this week's meeting of world leaders in Japan, officials in Beijing were talking free trade high on the agenda of the Chinese delegation. But this afternoon, word that China is blocking a major Canadian import, meat, it says, for safety concerns. Canadian officials confirmed they recently found that veterinary health certificates for some pork and beef products were faked. A Chinese embassy spokesperson wrote to CBC News saying, in order to protect the safety of Chinese consumers, China has taken urgent preventive measures and requested the Canadian government suspend the issuance of certificates for meat exported to China. The feds insist they're working on it. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has taken measures to address this issue and is continuing to work closely with industry partners and Chinese officials, a statement from the government reads.
The fact that, let's say, one firm may have been using fake quarantine certificates or fake inspection certificates, that is what has led, I believe, to the threat to stop all meat exports. And that's big business for our country.
But this is just the latest provocation from China following the arrest of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou on Canadian soil back in December. Since then, China has banned imports from two of Canada's biggest canola distributors, affecting a $5 billion industry. And there's the two Canadians, Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig, both detained following Meng's arrest. They're still being held with no formal charges against them.
We have been engaging in multiple efforts with the Chinese, with our allies around the world, to try and bring these Canadians home.
Those efforts so far, though, have failed. Neither the Prime Minister or the Foreign Minister can even get their counterpart on the phone, which is why this week's summit in Japan is so vital.
Okay, so Vashi, tell us more about how vital this summit in Japan would be, what we should be looking out for.
Look, Andrew, this is the Prime Minister's chance to actually talk to the President of China, to President Xi. Every call that he's tried to make, every request that's been put out or the Foreign Affairs Minister has put out, we know now has been completely ignored. Their calls have gone unheeded. They have literally not been able to get a hold of anyone in China. This is the Prime Minister's chance, if maybe President Trump facilitates it, to actually sit down in front of President Xi and plead his case. It's a long shot. We don't know if it'll happen, but this is the only opportunity to do so.
Right, but even if he is able to get that chance and to wave down the Chinese president, then what? I mean, there are no guarantees, right?
No, there are none, and that's the big problem here, because let's say the Prime Minister pleads Canada's case and says, hey, we didn't have a choice in arresting Meng Wanzhou. We had an extradition treaty with the U.S. Well, we already know the Chinese government doesn't work that way. They don't believe that. They think that Canada and the federal government should be able to intervene politically and just drop this case. And so where we're left at, even if this meeting happens, is likely the Chinese, until the Meng Wanzhou case is completely dropped, will not drop their aggressive actions against Canada either.
Okay, the host of CBC News Network's Power and Politics, Vashi Kapelos in Ottawa. Thanks so much, Vashi.